Good evening and welcome back to Irons United's YouTube channel. We have just witnessed West Ham draw 1-1 with Crystal Palace, and yeah, decent game, and we're going to have a quick chat about it. So we are joined by Richard Channel. We have just witnessed West Ham draw 1-1. What's your thoughts? With Crystal Palace. And
how's it end? Yeah, I thought it was a decent game. It's a decent point for us. Going into the game, I can't say I was full of confidence with all the injuries we've had. To have 13 first-team players out isn't great. And when I saw Antonio wasn't in the squad, I thought that it was going to be an uphill struggle. But I thought we handled it really very, very well. A couple of players stood out for me. I thought Mario looked spectacular. You can see the quality he has. I thought Cheick Kouyaté came back to the fore today. I've never seen him play the way he did today in a long, long time. He was a brick in the middle of the park. Hernandez had a very good game for a change. His hold-up play was decent. Noble, Zabaleta, Byram, the list goes on. They were very, very good performances all around today. So I'll take that point. Palace are a decent side.
I mean, we all know from the start of the game that we were struggling with team selections. So that left us with, problematic issues throughout the setup. What were your thoughts on the starting lineup?
I think it's all Moyes could really go with. I mean, he was so limited with options. That's basically the only side he could have put out. I thought, as I said earlier, that Antonio might have been included. That's the only change I would have made. But I think he did very well. He played Zabaleta in a CDM role, and might I add, Zabaleta was fantastic in that position because, for one, he doesn't get done for pace in the middle of the park. He doesn't get exposed where he does at right back. In the middle of the park today, he was running around like a headless chicken. He was making challenges. I thought he was fantastic. So I thought the setup from Moyes was good, a decent formation. I'm glad that he played Mario up top with Hernandez. And yeah, I think we can take many, many positives from this game. So I'm content with the result.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in the first half, or in general, Rich, who, if you, at the end of the game, we've seen the announcement that Kouyaté was made man of the match. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think I would. Because I've actually tonight seen that robust Cheick Kouyaté, that box-to-box midfielder that will take a knock on the head. He was bandaged up. He was like a walking zombie, but he was fantastic. He really was really good today, and hopefully that's the sign of better things to come for Cheick, because on his day he can be Patrick Vieira-like, and we haven't seen it for this whole season, in fact, and we've all criticised him, but I thought he was fantastic today. I also thought Noble was probably just as close to getting man of the match.
Yeah, I mean, you can't deny that Kouyaté's been on better form compared to earlier in the season, and in the last few games, let's forget the Wigan game in particular. Well, he wasn't featured anyway, but the last few games he's featured in, he has been performing a lot better. And tonight, yeah, we did see that strong central midfielder, box to box, gaining yards. Like he was running back and forth, he was tackling, he was heading, he was throwing his body on the line, and that's exactly what we want to see again as West Ham fans, and that's the old Kouyaté we want to see. And if we keep seeing that Kouyaté, then again he's going to cause problems for Moyes' team selection, which, to be honest, we've seen Moyes' team selection when it comes to Kouyaté. He can play shit and he's still going to play, so we just want him to play good. That's the main thing. Listen, for me personally, and yeah, you've mentioned Noble. Talk to me about Noble. He's got his 50th career goal with West Ham tonight, which is his 51st goal ever, but 50 goals on the mark for Mark Noble.
What a man. Legend. Mr. Reliable from the penalty spot. I didn't second guess the fact that he was going to bury it in the bottom corner. He's just, I think, one of the best penalty takers in the Premier League. His record speaks for itself when it comes from hitting it from 6 yards, and I thought he was fantastic. He was calm and collected on the ball, didn't panic. He went past players today. I saw him beat maybe 4 or 5 players there, which Noble never really does. He won fouls. He distributed the ball very well, led by example. Yeah, I literally can't fault Noble today. I thought he was fantastic.
I'm going to say something here. I'm actually going to really, really put my neck on the line here, but I'm going to take back everything I have ever said about Noble. And I mean this, like, do you know what? If he didn't perform well for us, if you look at his career as a whole for West Ham, he has given us absolutely everything, and he has come back into the team and made himself irreplaceable within our side. And he got criticised previously. I was one of them, to say that he passed the ball left to right, or back. But with the current West Ham setup, there are many times during that game that's the sort of play that we need. We need a Mark Noble just to calm that shit down. And then sometimes we see that absolutely beautiful pass that he can play moving forward. And yeah, do you know what? Having a Mark Noble on our team right now, I feel a lot more safe. I feel a lot more secure. Do you agree with that, Matt? Rich?
Absolutely. I think, obviously, not missing him at Wigan, you can just see how big a loss it was when he came back today, because he just brings our midfield together. He's that leader in the middle of the park. He's that man that's going to rev up players when they aren't pulling their weight. He's that guy who's going to slow down play, distribute the ball. And as we've said, I'm also another one that can put my hand up and say in the past I have criticised Noble, because he has passed backwards and sideways historically. But today he was hitting long diagonals, forward passes, penetrating their midfield. And I thought, as I said, I thought he was fantastic today. Very close to man of the match.
And listen, we have to say it again. 50 goals for West Ham, from the young lad that grew up just up the road from Upton Park, and he's come through the ranks, and to have 50 goals from his position, yep, that deserves the crossed hammers. Well done, Mark Noble. Take a bow.
Well done, Mark.
And tell you what, Mark Noble, I am glad to have you back on our side, and I'm glad you're there, showing all the West Ham players exactly the passion we need. Because another player I want to talk about before we move on to the kind of flary players was Sam Byram's positioning today. From the minute go, I felt like he completely fell back into maybe the reason why West Ham signed him from Leeds. He was closing down the any attackers coming towards him. He was getting up and down that wing. He was tracking back. He's clever on the ball. He can hold the ball well. And you look at most of the crosses coming in from the right hand side, most of them were always beating the first man, and nine times out of 10 they were getting to within our striker, i.e. feeding Hernandez. And for that opportunity, that was a cross from Byram. What are your thoughts on Byram's performance tonight, Rich?
I thought he was good tonight, Sam Byram. Obviously he struggled with injuries, but I'm delighted to have him back, because he is the future for me. He's still a youngster, and I saw what I saw at Leeds when he was playing for Leeds. I saw tonight. He was bombing on, getting in behind, whipping in crosses. That's the type of right back you want, ideally. And I think he will take over from Zabaleta very, very soon at right back on today's performance. And I'd like to see Zabaleta play as a CDM, because he looked so comfortable there. And I think he's played there before, Zabaleta, and he looked very, very comfortable. And maybe that frees up a chance for Sam Byram to start at right back, because a fit Sam Byram, for me, on tonight's performance, should be starting. And
if you relate the performance from Sam Byram and Zabaleta, and you think about the player who was trying to attack those two players, he was kept quiet all game. Wilfried Zaha, if you watch Richard videos beforehand, you said you just need to stop this guy from playing football, don't go near him. And I tell you what, Byram and Zabaleta both done their job tonight to the highest standard. And like I said, I just want to put the special mention out there to Sam Byram. I'm really excited about his performance tonight. Yeah, there's a lot of negatives going on at our club. Yeah, we need some new signings. But when you get a boy like that who's struggled to get a run in the team, and he comes in and he performs in a position he's not played for at our club, when we're under so much pressure right now, and he puts in a performance like that and closes down the in-form Wilfried Zaha, I'll take that any day of the week.
Yeah, absolutely. Zabaleta and Byram have to take so much credit, because, as you mentioned, Zaha, for me, was the biggest threat for Palace.
Yep.
And we nullified him. What did he do today? He spent most of the game on the ground, because Zabaleta and Byram were crunching tackles, putting him on the floor, and that made me so happy, because personally I can't stand Zaha, and to put him in his place tonight was just fantastic. Byram and Zabaleta had him in their pockets, empty it out when they get home with their car keys, and all the stuff all the other stuff they had in their pockets. So yeah, delighted with that.
But at the end of the day, we still drew against Crystal Palace. We're at home. We expected a win. We wanted a win. And we will talk about the Crystal Palace goal. Who's to blame, and where do you see how we could have potentially resolved that issue with that goal? What's your thoughts? Benteke, not on form.
Well, I think when I first saw it, my first immediate reaction was to say that Rice got done, which he did. Townsend did very, very well, twisted him inside out, but I still question Ogbonna. I felt that he lost his man, and Ginge had to try and come across, and Ginge couldn't get there because Benteke had lost Ogbonna. And so part of me blames Rice because he got done very easily, but credit to Townsend. I think he's a good footballer.
Yeah.
But a part of me wants to blame Ogbonna for losing his man. But it's one little lapse of concentration. It can be understood because we are missing Reed at the back, who's probably our best centre back. Also, Font's coming back, so it's a kind of makeshift back 4/5, if you call it. So it's just unfortunate, really, that goal. But obviously, Benteke is going to score against us. Only a second of the season, and it's against West Ham. Crazy.
Absolutely. When it comes to the first goal, you can't ever take away the fact that Townsend is a great player, and he did turn Reece. But to be fair to Reece, he had to track back as you do. At that point, though, you expect your centre-half to come in and take over the position, or to be able to man-mark the person. So when your defender steps out of position, the next defender in line comes in, therefore Collins moves across when Ogbonna moves across. But if you look back at the goal, my biggest concern with Ogbonna consistently throughout the season, even when he performs well, is his spatial awareness. He does not know how to stay on his marker. He can never stay on his marker. He can perform really well, which he has been for the past 10, 12 games.
He's been doing well.
Yeah, he has been for 10 or 12 games. But usually within that game, there's always 1 or 2 times he steps off his marker, and that always sometimes leads to a goal, which is the biggest concern I've got. The biggest concern I've got with Ogbonna. Again, let me repeat this. Let me not take it away from him. He has been performing really well, and I've been really happy with his performances. But I have stated for a long time, that Ogbonna, spatial awareness, he just does not have that. And if you look at the goal, you will see him marking no one and leaving Reece with 2 and Collins with 2. And that's my biggest concern at the back. But yeah, at the end of the day, how are we going to stop that cross from Townsend? And then, like you said, up steps Benteke, smashes the ball with his head, has only scored 1 goal this season. Up step West Ham. Thank you very much. Another player we want to talk about on the West Ham side of things is the new signing, the on loan, the loan to buy, which is a new modern saying that West Ham like to know, is João Mario. Describe that for me, Rich.
You can see how talented this I don't know how young he is actually, but you can just see how talented he is. He's so similar, I've said it before, to Lanzini. Same ball, drops the shoulder, technically gifted on the ball. You could just see he looked so comfortable on the field. I think he's going to take to West Ham very, very well. And it's someone that we need, because normally when teams bring in players, it's a squad player. But this man, I genuinely believe, can be a starting player for the foreseeable future. I don't see us buying him at the end of the season because we won't pay the money. Of course, loan to buy him is Mr. Sullivan, obvious. But I think he'll be decent for us this season, and he looked good today. You can see the signs are there that this man's got quality.
But if you think about West Ham's goal, Rich, you think about the amount of men that he held off. The penalty, but he held off, I don't know how many men, 4 or 5 Crystal Palace men. He fought, he never gave up. He could have easily gone down, but he didn't. He fought for that ball. He then passed it out to Chicharito, and fair play to Chicharito. I thought, like you said, Rich, I'm one of his biggest fans, but he did everything that West Ham fans, or some West Ham fans, have been calling out for. He worked hard tonight. He done the extra yards tonight, in my opinion. He drew back, and he stayed up when he needed to. And as what we have seen is, when he is getting fed, he will sometimes, hopefully, take more chances. But he had chances tonight, and that's more than he's had for a long time in the season. But then James Tompkins, up he comes, ex-West Ham guy. He was.
Thank you, James.
Yeah, thank you, James.
James. Thanks, mate.
partly on form, partly off form. What a great tackle he made against Chicharito to stop Chicharito with that 6-yard chance. But he brought Chicharito down for the penalty, and then up-stepped Mark Noble for the goal. Talk me through. Mario, Lanzini, Arnautovic. What are your thoughts of that?
That is just a mouth-watering combination. I can see those 3 terrorizing defenses. I can't wait for them to get back. I'd love to see those 3 together, because they're all on each other's wavelength. I think they're all at that level of being that technically gifted that they'll know where everyone will be running into space. They'll know how to interact with each other. So that's a very exciting combination that I can't wait to unlock. As for Tompkins, big thank you to him for helping out his former club. But as you said, what a challenge on Chicharito. If Chicharito was just a bit quicker, he would have buried that. But Tompkins was there in a flash, match-saving tackle. But thanks, James. Appreciate it, mate.
Rich, do you ever think that was a bit of a mistake getting rid of James Tompkins? Especially when you see, he made one mistake to give away the penalty. But when you see tackles like that, there was a few other occasions he kind of dominated at the back. He was a standout defender, in my opinion, for Crystal Palace. There was always controversy when we sold him. Did we make that mistake?
I personally think we did. Obviously, him and Bilic didn't get on, but I rated Tompkins. I thought he was a great youngster, came through the academy, and when he moved to Palace, it was a very strange one because we've struggled at centre back. We've had to bring in Ogbonna, Font. Collins has been in and around there. We've been looking for centre backs. I don't know if we've properly replaced him. When Ogbonna and Reid are at their best, then you can probably say that. But I would have kept Tompkins. I thought he was decent, and he showed tonight. Obviously, he's given away the penalty. Hernandez was clever. Definitely a penalty, in my opinion. But that challenge that he made on Hernandez was definitely a match-saving tackle. If Hernandez, strangely, is normally quicker there, he normally buries those, but he was a bit slow, but on his heels, and Tompkins was able to make a good tackle.
Absolutely. I mean, do you know what? I don't really know if there's huge amounts of more talking points to discuss in this game. Just got to put the hands up to some of the players we've slagged off a lot through this season, and Chekwati is back to his normal self. I can't help but feel disappointed, Rich. I can't help but feel disappointed that we haven't got a victory, but we're now up to 10th in the league, but that doesn't mean that we're safe, because we're only 4 points from safety, and it is so tight down there. It is so tight, and being 10th means you are down there, because currently this year it's crazy. What do we need to do, Rich?
Well, what this performance has definitely highlighted is that we need to sign players. We quite simply need to, because that bench tonight, there was no one we could bring off that bench that was going to give us any hint of attacking threat. We had Font, and we had 5 youngsters, of which Martinez and Quina really, in my opinion, have struggled when they've been in the first team. So we need at least 2 signings. So either tonight or tomorrow, we've got to do some business, because we are paper thin. And David Golden-Sullivan would have seen from this performance that we are thin, because if we had 2 or 3 players with a bit more quality, we would have won that game. If Arnautovic and Lanzini played, we would have won that game. But we just didn't have the quality tonight. And although we can't fault the endeavour of the players and the way they played, I thought they were fantastic, but we are missing a bit of quality, and that's where we're going to need to do some business before the window shuts.
Absolutely. I mean, 1-0, up to 10th, 4 points from safety. Absolutely so tight at the bottom. We've just, it's a bit crazy. Transfer deadline day tomorrow night. Rich, have you got anything final to say before I talk about the kind of schedule for the rest of the week?
Nothing really, just decent points, and let's just keep moving onwards and upwards from here. Fans are amazing again.
Perfect. So just to give you a bit of an update, tomorrow night we've got a couple of things happening. We've got an interesting show. It is going to be pre-recorded, but it will be probably released on Thursday, and I'll probably just announce it now. We're going to have the real West Ham fans action group. Andy Swallow is coming on the show to discuss all his points on what's happening with their group, and today they've announced they're doing a march. So they're going to come on our show tomorrow and discuss all their points, get it out to the viewers that we've got, which is going to be good to have on. Any questions, make sure you get us in contact with us and put them on our social media sites. We'll get the questions asked out. And then tomorrow night, depending on the time, we're going to try and catch the last hour of the transfer window by doing a live stream, just to give you guys a bit of a kind of, something else to watch while Sky Sports are reporting crazy stories that West Ham are trying to sign Messi and Ronaldo. So we'll see what's happening with that side of things. And then finally, I'm going to keep doing it in every single video until we know she's getting the support she needs. Get supporting little Isla, West Ham fan who needs support to get her. She's got a mild cancer, an aggressive cancer, and we need to get her across to America to get the support she needs. So make sure you get on and start doing that. There'll be a competition coming up to win not competition, it'll be a competition to win tickets to the Southampton game, and then we're going to have a live auction for Isla as well, which is going to be cool, so keep your eyes on our social media sites. Anyway, Rich, final points you want to make? If not, tune in tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I think we've said it all. So yeah, everyone tune in tomorrow. There's a lot of cool stuff coming up. A lot of nice weekly shows you guys need to watch. So yeah, keep it up.
Perfect. Guys, he's been Rich. I've been Anton. Come on, you Irons, and let's get these victories finally under our belt and get safe this season. Come on, you Irons.
Come on, lads.